Hello, welcome back. History of Design, Session 9, Part B. We are moving on in the process of calling it pamphlet. You know, we are now getting into work in progress, and we will be doing that for a week, and then you'll do your final. So that gives us several times to look at your work, so I can make improvements and we can get it perfect and like nailed in and dialed in and everything. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next round. So you're going to submit, and it's just going to be a back and forth. You're going to submit it. I'm going to go through. I'm going to be like, change this. Let's move this. Let's adjust this. Let's fix that. So it's starting. That will start tonight. You know, like when I get to your things, and then you'll review it. You'll make changes. You'll submit it again. I'll review it. You'll make changes, and then there's the final. So we have today, because I'll look at your rough computer roughs. They can be rough, but I need to see what's happening, and I'll show you mine. I've already seen one student's, and it was way further than I thought it'd be. Good job. And so the computer roughs, then I'll comment on those. Then you make the changes and you'll improve. Then I'll comment again, and then there'll be the final. So bunch of stuff going on. I want to show you progress, what to do, how to do things, how to work on things, thought processes, everything like that. So let's go through the thought process. Let's get on there. So we all know I went through this in the past. And this was my setup where it's the visual research and sketches. I did my research. I got stuff on all of these. I think I got 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I thought I did 16. So I have 12 images that go off of, and I did my initial sketches. I did these, and then I sat on it for a bit, and then I looked at what you guys turned in, and I thought to myself, oh, somebody did something similar to this, and somebody did something similar to this, and I thought, crap, I got to do something different. And then I thought, crud, I can't do something different because this is what I showed the client. So once you show the client something and they're like, yeah, go with one of those too, you really shouldn't change your idea again. So I didn't want to go with something new, because then I started thinking about this whole like weird shape design thing. And I was like, nope, I got to go. This is what I did. So I got to stick with this. But what I can do is I can modify this. And I started thinking about it more. And I'll show you some of the process. The thought process was, the thought process went to the golden ratio. And I delved in and I started looking at things and I did like, what's the perfect ratio and all this kind of stuff. And I got a thing from Adobe Stock that has this broken down. And I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this golden ratio. And what I did, this one was there. This is the golden ratio. And then this is a breakout. And I thought, this is going to work for me. It's actually this one. And how can I work with that, make my poster / design a little bit different? And this is something I've always done. I remember doing this when I was in college as well, as you get the assignment and I think, what can I do that nobody else would ever do? Where can I push it? What are the bounds that I got with my assignment? What can I do? How can I make it even better and different than anybody else? You know, so that's where I push it. So then I went down and I'm like, okay, let's do this. So this is based off the golden ratio. And if you look in the background, you can see the double lines. And so this is all based off of the golden ratio, except for the split down the middle. So what I ended up doing is I made a printout and I started folding it and figuring out how I wanted to fold it along. And I was trying to go along the 1/3 lines, and there's something wasn't going. And so I did a fold in and a fold in. And I was like, well, what if I fold it in half? So I'm breaking one rule by folding it in half right there. And then this became my setup for how I'm going to do my layout. So here's the cover. It goes down into a square, and it's going to be a 4-inch by 4-inch square when it's all folded. So there's like a back cover, a cover, and this little flap gets folded in. And then when you unfold it, you'll get what you need. This, I'm not going to keep that on there at all. So that's that was just the basis, because I got that from Illustrator. It's just easiest to print that. Then, just helping people with work. Don't save. Then I did this. So then I brought it in, and I had this is the basis. I just did a screenshot. I was starting out, and I was figuring out this size, and I knew this was 4x4. And then I just started drawing on top of it. So I put a white thing, but I was like, okay, first thing I need to do is get this gridded out. And this is exactly it. And then I started thinking about the breakout. So then I divided that out on those lines, as you can see. And I figured out where on this does it equal out to my fold situation. And then I started adding in the information. Okay, these are going to be images. And here I had some split. I was thinking of a split image. Like, no, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 images. So there's 12 images. And then I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this would be information about the image on the poster side. And this will be like a zoomed in image of the image. So I know I didn't give equal real estate for these. But the reason being is this is where the fold is. And so I wanted the folds to kind of be the areas where information was. And I didn't want to have information go beyond that. So this is like kind of the first sketching out. Then I'm just kind of solidifying some things. And then kind of redoing a little bit of like, okay, this is where I want stuff to go. It's a little more exacting. I turn those off. And then I was like gonna like thinking, so maybe I'll have a picture of him, and then I'll have my cover, which will be the logo. And then this could be that down here, that's a column. That's like all the information about the design studio and the guy. And these will be about the pieces. And so that's like where I came from. And so that's how I got my drawing. So everything's thought about now and not on the computer. And these are just layered up in Photoshop. Like I just sit there, and again, you guys hear this every time. When am I doing it? I'm doing this. The paper stuff happened during the day, and I was printing stuff out and screwing around and trying to figure that out. And then later on, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, nothing's really happening. Again, when I'm watching TV, just relaxing, I can bust this out. I don't need to be fully paying attention to stuff. And I just did all the sketching part, and a lot of it's copy and paste. So this gets me to where I'm at in that area. Now, then I got to bring that in. And so I created my Illustrator file, which is this. And then now you just kind of have to do breakouts and starting to think about the bigger process. So I have 90% of what I need here. Now I can place in my Photoshop. So I go to File, Place, and I want to place from Storage, Projects. Now I'm going to lose it. I won't be able to find it. There it is. Place. And then what I can do is I can put that in, get it to size, and it's not going to be the correct size. It's going to be very close. It might be a little bit off. But then I'm just going to fix things up here. Oh, it's pretty damn close. It's workable. And then, because if I don't want to see that one, all I do is this. I'm going to just put this, select that object, clipping mask, make, and then pull this one over there, make a copy of it. Because it reverses, so I have to get that other side correct. And then I can move it up. And there we are. Oh, I don't have my numbers on there. Oh, I know why, because I didn't save it. If I hit save on this, so I go to File, Save. Yeah, update. Well, it'll update eventually. So then what I can do is the breakout. Now I'm going to think about some other things. And one of those is I have a bleed on here. It's enough bleed. I'm going to have to create my margin. So the margin will generally be the same always. And it's an odd size. So if I do this, it's an odd size because I tried to get it exact because using that 4-inch idea. So it's a little bit off. If I go to here, it's 10.46 by 16.92. It's just under 11 by 17. It doesn't proportionately fit, and I'm not going to push it. So then if I get this to the correct size, and then I'm just going to cut off a 1/2 inch. So if I do a 1/2 inch, it would be 10. So it changes to a 10. Oh, you know what? This is you cheat. This is how I'm going to cheat. Okay, it's not perfect. Let's get it perfect. It's not even cheating. It's just finding the better way. Like if I don't want to do all the calculations, then you just make a little square. And this square, you make it to a 1/2 inch. Okay. And this square, I'm going to fill with black. And then I'm going to put it here. And then I'm going to grab my margin line, which actually should be stroke of magenta. And then I'm just going to move it to here. And then I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to grab these 2 boxes. And I can see right now that's going to be too much. I want a 1/4 inch margin. If I go on a 1/2 inch, for this with a lot of information in here, I'm going to end up cutting off a lot. So that's another like thing you think about, like where's my cutoff on design as well? Like how close can I get to that edge without touching the edge and making things seem like they're too tight in the space, like, you know, so that's what we're going for. So what I can do is just scale this to 50%, which will make those a 1/4 inch. And that's what I'm going to do. So I just pull those back. Oh, this is not lined up. Then I'll do this and I'll X those out, go up to this corner, paste it in. That's good. Well, that's good. How did I get that perfect? Good Lord. Delete, delete. Good. All. And then I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to edit, paste on all artboards. Sometimes it duplicates this one. Delete. And then that's my margin. So I'll set that as a template. Folds. Can't forget about your folds. So this can be done now, or it can be done, I'll have you do it on the next session to know where your folds are. They need to be properly marked. I do my folds in yellow. Sometimes they can be done in green, cyan, usually, I don't know. You can pick what you want to do it in. But now I need to have my folds, and the folds are indicated by a dotted, dashed line, dotted, dashed. And they go out and beyond. I always go beyond. And so if I do a stroke and I do it to yellow, and then I go here, and all I do is hit dashed line. I don't do anything fancy. I keep it at the 12. There's my dashed line. And then now this is where you kind of have to be accurate, because what you do here reflects the rest of the design. So I'm going to pull, I'm going to make a 4-inch box. And that should help. 4 tab 4. And we're going to get that in there. And this is just a setup, right? But then this one's larger. There's a reason for that. And I think it's because the middle is larger. Oh, they're all a little bit off for my initial setup. So then I got to fix all that. So as you can see, you got to make sure like you know where your folds are, what you're doing, how you're going to set everything up to get it accurate the first time. So if I take this fold and I flip it, this should go here. So see how I'm a little bit off from my drawing? And then if I need to, I can like double look, like, okay, wait, how is this broken up? And it's actually not, it's not accurate. So it's like a 4-inch square, a weird break, a 4-inch square, weird break. And so I separated those out a little bit. Oops. So just going back and forth, double checking, like, all right, how big should these be? Where's the break? This should be accurate. That should be accurate. And if you need to, switch the color so you can see it. And then come back to it. For me, there's like kind of a joy in this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these and I'm going to extend them. So now that's broken out correctly. So it's a 4-inch, and then these are just a little bit off, but these fold in. And when these fold in, they actually come a little bit short. And I know that from my design. And then so I'm going to get rid of the squares. I'm going to get rid of that black line. We'll select all these, and we'll turn them to yellow. And then I have to do the other ones. Let's do this length. There we go. And then I have these other folds. We'll just put in with the pen tool. Grab that, check the properties. Yep. And then just gonna pull one over. And once you do one, it's just I just flip it. So let's do black again, just so we can see it, and I'll turn all that off. So that's it. So that's like where I'm going with this, and then I have to just kind of keep accurate here when I flip it. So I'm going to drag it over. I'm going to reverse it, not reverse it. reflect it. And then if I make a reference square here, and I bring that over to here, then I can grab all these, use the arrow key, just tap it over. Then I got that, delete that. And those are my fold marks. So those are the folds that I need. So I'm going to turn those back to yellow. And then here's the part. Like, so that's some monkeying around. I'm going to do the folds as a template as well. Those don't need to come out in the end. Then I have this. And I can start placing. You know, like I have everything I need. Now, all I need to do is just start placing the images in, placing the text in. The greatest part about that is this is all in InDesign. Oop. And I can literally copy and paste the text. So like this. I go to my body copy. And I copy that. And I make like this one. And this would be, what do I call this? Body copy about. So I know what that is. And that's this right there. So I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to make a text box. And I'm going to start at the margin. And here's the thing. I'm going to margin everything for myself as well, because you shouldn't have things touching the folds. There's this, that's placed in. Now, when I say that you shouldn't have stuff touching the folds, like I'm going to have an image right on the crease, but don't have text right on the crease. You have to give the text some space. You don't want if it's folding, you don't want text right there. And then so like in all these little boxes, when I create these, I'm going to create the same size box for each section and work with it that way. So here I can delete. What's the size of font? 14. I can go A and let's go to 12. I can go to 10, 9. It all fits on 9. Let's go to 9.25. Look at that. And then so, you know, and then you just start turning things off and you're like, okay, there's that line of text. I'll go through it. I'll double check it. Maybe I'll make, you know, I'll make the title bigger. We have room, you know, I can make this can be 12. Scan down and like here. And then now I'm just copying and pasting. And because I did extra time on the setup, I'm done. You know, like it's just putting it all in. And then, you know, I might have to divide this up. And once I get something set up here for that division, and then I just go with it. Then I know. So this needs to be split into half. It's already split into half one way. I got to split it in half the other way. All right, great. I can pull a guide. So I'll make a thing called guides. Sometimes I like all my guides on one layer. It just helps out. And I can do that same thing. Now I have to reference when I divide this in half, I have that margin. So I have to make sure that when I do this, and if I make that square, I need to make sure that that's the division, but then I need this 1/4 inch down at the bottom to equal out. So I don't go all the way to the fold when I set my text. And so that's divided out. So I have sections, and the sections have to include that margin thought. And then I have to figure out the size. So my image will actually be bled off. And I have to think like, how do I want to do that? Do I want to, are these the exact same size? Are they slightly different? They're slightly different. So the height is the same, but the width is different, which is fine. So I'm just gonna do this. And if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull a guide and and I had this thought about dividing this up and using this. Like if that, would this fit into this space here? Like, I think I kind of said, I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. So if I copy this and I go to here and I go to paste and make it small, like, oops, can I use the golden ratio like again? Pull the guide here to help with my design. So I need to actually, I want this to be up. Wait, are we doing the full? That's the full. And I was like, can I get it to work? Doesn't work. It doesn't divide out again for me, which kind of sucked. I was like, oh, boo. And I think I even was like, can I get this to divide out? Like, where's the divider? And it's like right around here, which doesn't work for my design. So I may do like, for this, I think I want, instead of doing perfect squares, what I'm gonna do is thirds. So I'm gonna take this square and I'm just gonna make 3 of them. And first I'm gonna go to view, guides, unlock guides. I'm gonna delete this one out. Oh, come on. Oh, I was like, why isn't it indicating that they're there? View, guides, lock guides. So I have 3 boxes and then I'm gonna make it like this. And so I'm gonna have 1/3 image, 2/3 text. And so I'm gonna pull a guide. And I know that's gonna happen. And I do that and I do the same thing. Just shift this over here, make it the bit bigger and do that. And now I have all my divisions. So if I turn off all of this, I can see exactly what I need. And this is, and then now I'm gonna have like, let's get this below. Body copy about. And then this is example copy. And then this is example sample. That's the little ones. I'm calling it example sample. And then examples are on the other page. And there's really nothing to do. Like that was the hardest part. I'm ready to roll. And then these are all set up. And then I will do the first section, set up guides, do everything. These guides can be repeated. You know, it's the same idea here and here. It's breaking it up. Boom, boom. This section is just smaller than the rest, I think. Yeah, but it'll all equal out. So that's how you start setting that up for the computer part and getting your ideas in. You have, like I said, you should have all your information. Then this point is just like copying and pasting. And I have all my stuff here. And I have the reference here for myself. So I know like, oh, okay, this and this. Boom, boom. I copy and paste this in. I have this, and this, 3 sections, you know, like Spanish for New Wines. And if I need to, I can always go back to his website and find the stuff and maybe get a better image and work from there. So this is where you turn your sketch into something real. This is why it's important to have all your information done first, so you can just start to build it and you know what you're building. Once you have this done, and what was that? That was 30 minutes. I didn't have too much of this started beforehand. And then the rest now is just copying and pasting it in and making guides. So again, I always talk about this in design, and when you're sitting down and you're doing design, is sit down and do it. If you sit down and do it, like even that point, I was like, oh, is this taking a long time? I look up, I was like, oh, that was only 30 minutes. You know, like, but I'm ready to roll now. Like, this is done. I'm ready to roll. I'm going to set everything in, and I can basically be done. And then we're going to tweak it, and then we're going to tweak it, and you're going to be done. So that's how to go forth. That's what I want to see today. Is I want to see the computer roughs. I want to see that you've got everything set up the way you need to set up. We'll make changes. We'll make adjustments. As I said, I added in, and it's probably not big enough, and I'm going to have to make it bigger, is in the assignment. It does say, and a copy of the design file for the submission, upload both files, and then a copy of the design file. This is both files refers to the InDesign file for the presentation. So if there's something weird, I used to have more problems with like skipping on pages, and I have to go back and show students how to do that. So if you have no questions for me, do you have any questions for me at this point? All right, cool. I look forward to seeing what you do. I hope you all get as involved in this as I do. I mean, like I said, I call it going down the rabbit hole, and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then if I do this, and then if I do this, it's like, it's amazing what we're allowed to do, what we can do. And I support you guys in doing that 100%. So there we are. That's it. Let me know what you got. Don't post things too late. If you want me to look at them today, I have a 2-hour meeting from 4:30 to 6:30, and I'm going home. So I won't get to stuff. So if you're like, oh, he'll look at it tonight. Starting at 4:30, I'm kind of out, and because I'm going to get home at 7 o'clock tonight, and then get dinner, and then I might relax. So just giving you that heads up. All right, cool. You know what to do if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Again, I'm around Friday. Let me know what you need, and I will get comments back to you as soon as I can. All right, take care. Bye-bye.